Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today we will have a lecture on construction material and management. So, in previous lectures, we have seen the various concerns regarding the estimations. So, some bits related with the construction management and material and management was remaining. So, in today's lectures, we will see the concepts regarding construction material and management. Okay. So here again the important topic will be covered in today's lectures related with the construction management. Okay, na? So this management nowadays it plays a very important role in this sense because management nowadays we have to take care of the material management as well as we have to take care of the various processes which has been involved in the construction process. So we have to go through all these managements related with the various equipments required, related with the materials required, related with the various labors required. So nowadays management concerned is very important. So we will try to cover in today's lectures the main things related with the management, okay, construction management, okay, materials and management. Okay. So one by one we will see the different concerns regarding with the management. Okay. First of all, what is management or what is basic studies in the construction of a project? So which things to be considered related with the construction of a project? So first we will see about the types of the projects and its financing. Then we will see about the detailed project, that is the report and its analysis. And we will see about the time of completions, provisions of cost escalations in time and cost, and choice of technology and construction, that is techniques and site planning. Taken. So these are the main basic things related with construction of project. Taken. The financing part is also very important. Detailed project report analysis, that is DPR. Feasibility is also important. Time of completions, provisions of escalations in time and cost, and choice of technologies. ठीक है ना? So what are the different technologies nowadays used for in order to minimize the durations also and to minimize the cost also. ठीक है? Next is what is a project? How we can define a project? ठीक है ना? तो project क्या होता है? So what is how we can define a project? The project is normally a long term, that is infrastructures. That means industrial or a public services scheme or a development or undertaking having large size. A project itself indicates large, that is infrastructures, various things related with the construction, industrial or public services scheme, various schemes related with the which has been profitable to the public, which is directly used by the public. The various schemes related with this, again development or undertaking which is having a large size. Next is intensive capital requirements. That is the capital intensive. That means amount required for the construction will be also large amount will be required. Financial part will also be considered for a project. So finite and long life, the time of completions required will be more for a project. Few diversifications opportunities, that is the assess specific standalone entity, and high operating margins, significant free cash flows. That means while constructions of the project will require that means a large amount will be required for construction of any project. So this cash flow will also be considered from which means it is to be the amount will be available for construction of project. So these things will be covered in this. That means this will be considered under a project. Okay? Again, these two things are very important. That is BOO and BOT. What this stands for? BOO. This is nothing but build, own, and operate. So build, own, and operate is also very important. And build, operate, and transfer. That means these are the two different things it has to be considered while construction of a project. So there is build, own, and operate, and build, operate, and transfer. That means any structures or any that means this things that has been used in the construction of roads. It has been constructed by contractors and it has been operated by the public, and finally it has been owned by the contractors. Okay? So build, own, and operate. What about the built, operate, and transfer? That means it has been constructed by contractor, but it has been used by the public, and finally it will be transferred to the government sectors. ठीक है ना? Government sector को क्या होगा वो वापस it has been transferred to the government sectors. So this is nothing but it has been considered under the build, operate, and transfer. So these two things are also considered in a project. That is the build, own, and operate is a different thing. It has been considered as well as build, operate, and transfer. Okay? So these two are the various different concerns related with a project. Okay? Next is what are the different types of projects while considering a construction management or while considering a construction material and management. So we will consider what are the different types of projects. Okay, na? Which things are considered as which things are considered under a project, which type of constructions it has been considered under a project. So what are the different types of projects? So motorway and expressway, express highways nowadays in order to reduce the duration time for from traveling from one place to another place. So this motorways and express it has been used for transportations in order to reduce the time required or in order to reduce the time for reaching the destinations. Okay, na? So this will reduce the time traveling time. Okay? So expressways again will be considered under the project. Okay? Metro, subways, and other mass transit systems. Nowadays, metro constructions, metro and subways. Also, it has been considered under the project. The construction of dams, railway networks and service, both passenger and cargo. That means passenger. That means transportations of goods as well as transportations of from one place to another place. That is the express. Passengers can be transferred from one place to another place, or goods can be transferred. Okay? So this railway networks and services will also be considered under a project. Okay? Power plants and other charged utilities, power generation, power that is the generations or power distributions will also be considered under the project. Okay? Port and terminals, the different ports to be constructed, different terminals to be constructed will be considered under a project. Okay? Airports and terminals will also be considered under the projects. Mines and natural resource explorations. We have to explore the different. That is, there are the various mines. That is, coal mines are there, platinum mines are there, or the different resources which has been extracted from the ground. So this extraction of the natural resources from ground again will be considered under a project. Okay? So large new industrial undertakings, no expansions and extensions will also be considered under a project. Okay? Large residential and commercial. This is a common thing which has nowadays it has been considered. That is the large residential and commercial buildings will also be considered under a project. Okay? Next is what is project financing, because now we have seen the types of project, we have seen what is a project, so how we can finance, because finance part is very very important. We have to manage the amount required, we have to manage the that is the finance part is very very important for construction or for that is in carry out the construction part related with a project. Okay? So what is the project financing? The International Project Finance Association, that is in short IPFA, it has been defined the project financing. How they have defined the project financing? The project financing, it has been defined as the financing of a large term infrastructures. Every word is important. The financing of large term infrastructures, that means the durations required will be more and the construction cost will be heavy. So this infrastructures, long term infrastructures, industrial projects, and public services based upon a non-resource or limited resource financial structures. That means these things will be considered. Infrastructure projects will be considered, industrial projects will be considered, public services based upon non-resource or limited resource financial structure, where project debt and equity used to finance the project are paid back from the cash flow. This thing is very very important. First we have to invest the amount. First the contractor will invest the amount for particular construction work. Okay, now suppose we are constructing a road, or we are first suppose we are constructing a highway, you know, so national highway. So in this case, the contractor will first of all he will invest the amount required for the constructions, and he will that paid back from the cash flow generated by the project through the toll taxes or the different taxes from the individual persons. It can be collected, and this amount which has been required for the constructions will be paid back to the contractors through the cash flow from which has been generated by the project through the which has been used, the roads which has been used by the common man. Okay. So project finance is especially attractive to the private sectors because they can fund major projects off balance sheet. This term is very important because normally this project financing part will be taken care by the private sectors. Why? Because we cannot have a documentary work of every finance part. Okay, na? Some finance will be off sheet, now off balance sheet. Some finance part will not be taken care in the that is the documentary work. Okay, na? It cannot be stated. Okay, na? Some amount will be off balance sheet. Okay, na? Therefore, this it has been considered under the private sectors. This project financing will be beneficial for the private sectors. Okay. Is it important to understand project finance? Project finance term is why it has been very important nowadays, or project financing part nowadays, why it is taking why it is having a vital role. The people involved in the projects are used to find financing deals for the major construction projects such as mining, transportations, and public utility industries that may result such risk and compensations for repayment of the loans. The same thing that has been taken care, because at one end the contractor will invest the amount required for construction of work, and on the other hand here the returns will be taken care, है ना? He will the returns will be taken care of from the persons who are using that particular type of structures. Okay, so this is nothing but the project financing part. It has been taken care nowadays. Okay. For whom is it important to understand project financing? Financial managers, sponsors, lenders. Lenders are the investors. Nowadays, that is the bank, various banks, they are willing to invest the amount for a particular construction work. So lenders are the investors. ठीक है ना? The investors, those who are investing for a particular type of work. ठीक है ना? The financial managers, sponsors, lenders, consultants, and practitioners, managers, builders, suppliers, engineers, researchers, and students. Okay, so these are the various categories. For those, this project financing part plays an important role. Okay, na? For financial managers, sponsors, lenders, or consultants and practitioners, project managers, builders, suppliers, engineers, and researchers, as well as students. Okay. Next is what is the key characteristics of project financing? What are the different key characteristics of a project financing? Main things related with the project financing. The key characteristics of project financings are financing of long-term infrastructures and or industrial projects using debt and equities. Again, debt is typically repaid using cash flow. Again, the same thing that has been taken care. The amount which has been invested will be paid back through the various means. Limited resource to project sponsors when there are limited resources available, and while constructions, because for a project, for carrying out the various activities in a project, so we require a large amount. Okay? So when a large amount will be required, so when there are limited resources to a project sponsors. Okay. Next is debt is typically secured by a project assets, including revenue producing contracts. ठीक है ना? So these things, these are the key characteristics of project financing. Okay? These are the main aspects which has been covered in project financing. Okay? Next is what are the advantages of project financing? Why it has to be taken care? What are the advantages of project financing? First one, why it has to be studied. First thing is nothing but it is to be eliminate or reduce the lender's resource to the sponsor. That means these are beneficial for the various investors if they are investing the amount. So this project financing, it has been very important term related with the lenders, so those who are investing for a particular type of project. Okay? So for that things, this project financing, it is very important. Okay. Next is permit an off-balance sheet treatment of the debt financing. That means some criteria or some construction work, it is to be carried out, but it is not to be stated, or it is not to be mentioned in the balance sheet. Okay? So for that case, this project financing plays an important role. Okay? Maximize the leverage of the project, avoid any that is the restrictions or convenience binding the sponsors under their respective financial obligations. Avoid any negative impact of a project on a credit standing of the sponsors. These are the various advantages of a project financing. So you can obtain better tax treatment for the benefits of the project, the sponsors, or the both. So in this case, these are the various advantages of a project financing. Okay. Again, there are some of the disadvantages of project financing also. There is often takes longer to structure then equivalent size. That is cooperative finance. That means it is a long term projects are there, project financing. So it time required for its completions is very that is because many things, it has many construction activities will be considered in this project finance. So time required for a construction of a project is more. So this is one of the disadvantages. Often takes longer to structure than equivalent size. That is the corporate finance. Higher transactions cost due to creations of an independent entities can be up to 60. That is things. High transactions cost due to creations. That means a high amount will be required for constructions of projects. Therefore, availabilities of such a large amount will be taken care for construction of any projects. Okay. Project depth is substantially more expensive. Again, a large amount will be required, and due to its non-resource nature, that means some of the materials or some of the labors or some of the different equipments will not be available. So a large amount of equipments will be required, materials and labors, or different technologies or different advanced that is techniques will be required. So extensive contracting restricts managerial decision making. That means at any stage of the construction, particular type of construction work, we have to take a proper appropriate decision regarding the various processes or various that is activities which has been carried out. So because we have to complete a project in a proper there is a stability time. So this managerial decisions to be taken care. Now, at that time, we have to properly decide which activity or which construction particular activity or the process to be carried out. Okay. Next is guiding parameters to finance any project. What are the different guiding parameters from which what are the different things considered? What are the parameters to be considered while project financing? So lenders are the bank loans. One of the simplest way in order to construct, or the simplest means for the construction of any project, the finance way is nothing but the bank loans. Okay. The bank loans are the most commonly used source of funding for small and medium-sized businesses. In general, you should know bankers are looking for companies with a sound strike. That it means the record of the company should be sound, so that the lenders or the bankers, they are ready for financing. They are ready to give the amount or the particular amount required for a construction type of for construction of particular structures. So record should be sound track records, and that have excellent credits. Okay, na? The credits or the excellent record of the particular firm should also be there. The record of the contractors should be sound, so that it can be financed by the amount will be given by the different banks. Okay, na? Bankers. A good idea is not enough. It has to be backed up by a solid business plan, a proper planning business plan to be also considered. It is to be also shown in order to have grant from the various or the arrange the amount from the bankers. Okay. Startup loans will also typically require a personal guarantee from the entrepreneurs. A small amount will also be required for a guarantee for entrepreneurs, those who want to start a particular type of project for entrepreneurs, or to take an initiative action regarding any construction or manufacturing industries. So startups will, always require some amount, okay, which will be taken care by the bankers. Okay. Next is a personal investment. Again, this is very very important. Number two is the personal, because we have to we have to give some amount. Okay, so that when starting a business, your first investor should be yourself, either with your own cash or with collaterals on your assets. That means you have to invest some amount, because according to your investment, or according to your the amount which has been taken care, the first investor should be yourself. Okay, na? So personal investment should also be taken care while construction or while carrying out any construction work. So first is nothing but the first investor will be the contractors, or the person who has carrying out the project. Okay? So this proves to investors and bankers that you have a long-term commitment to your projects, and that you are ready to take the risk. ठीक है ना? If we are investing some amount, that means we are willing to take some risk. ठीक है ना? That means the risk will also be bared, the long-term commitment will be there, and the risk, and we are ready to carry out the particular type of work, and we are ready to take the profit as well as loss, because both things will be taken care. If it will be profit, the profit will be there, so it will be shared, and if there will be a loss in a particular type of project, that will also be bared by the investor. ठीक है ना? That is the person who invests the amount. ठीक है? Love money is nothing but this is a money loaned by us, our parents or family. That means the members which are close to us, so we can have the amount from that them also. The investors and bankers consider this as a patent capital, which is money that will be repaid later as your business profit increases. That means we have to repay the amount which has been taken from the that is the from our family members or from parents. We are taking some amount, so we have to repay pay back. Repaid later as your business profit increases. We have to pay back the amount which has been taken care. When borrowing love money, you should be aware that family and friends rarely have much capitals. They may want to have equities in your business. That means the equal involvement will be there regarding with your business, regarding various activities or the various construction processes, or the various things which has been involved related with the constructions. So equity will be also be maintained. ठीक है ना? So they may want to have equity in your business. A business relationship with families or friends should never be taken lightly. That means we have to these things will be considered. Okay? Again, fourth is again guiding parameters related with the finances. Again, the important is the venture capitals. Okay? What is the venture capitalist? Venture capitalist is nothing but are looking for technology-driven businesses and companies with a high growth potential. That means the various advanced technologies which has been taken care. ठीक है ना? So looking for technology-driven businesses and companies with a high growth potential in sectors such as information technologies, communications, and biotechnologies. So nowadays these sectors are moving very that means various research work it has been carried out, various inventions it has been carried out in this field. So always the venture capitalists they are looking for such new technologies. They are looking for such new research works which has been carried out in these fields. That is, they will try to invest the amount in this field. That is the in information technologies or communications and biotechnologies, or different advanced research work which has been carried out related with any manufacturing unit or any construction unit. Okay? So venture capitalists take any equity positions in the company to help it carrying out a promising but higher risk project. That means the equity. That means the contributions related with the opinions or the various suggestions will also be given by the venture capitalist related with the project, related with the construction of a project, because they are investing some amount. So again, the suggestions or the decisions taken by the capitalist will also be considered. Taken. This involves giving up some ownerships or equity in your business to an external party. Venture capitalists also express healthy returns on their investment. That means every investor they will expect healthy returns. That means returns will at what rate the returns will be carried out. Okay? The healthy returns on their investment often generated when the business starts selling shares to the public. That means when the particular construction work is it has been completed, or various manufacturing unit may occur in various factories when the production that has been started. So healthy returns will also be taken care by that means returns will be expected from the venture capitalist. Okay. What is angel investors? Again, a strong angel investors are also a type of that is the financing part. It has been considered related with the project finance. The angel investors are generally wealthy investors or a retired company executives who invest directly in small firms owned by others. That means small firms they are nothing but the wealthy individuals or retired, that is the higher post or company executives or the at a higher post. They are having a large experience on their related with their work, and they will share their experiences. They will share their experiences. They will share their contacts and networks related with in order to boost the project, in order to carry out the various in order to have more profit in the particular type of project. Okay, na? So this they are often leaders in their own field who can only contribute, who not only contribute their experiences and network of the contact, but also their technical and or management knowledge. Again, technical skills will also be taken care by these angel investors. Okay. So angel investors tend to finance the early stages of the business with investment in the range of 10 lakhs to the 1 crores. The range it has been there. They can invest up from starting from 10 lakhs up to 1 crores can be invested by the angel investors. Okay. Again, institutional venture capitalists prefer large investments in the range of 10 crores. That means institutional venture capitalists are also there. They can invest a large amount of money up to extent of 10 crores can also be invested by the angel investors. Okay. Next is nothing but the business incubators. What is a business incubators? Business incubators or accelerator. Actually, this incubator word is nothing but the accelerators. Okay, na? Generally focus on the high tech sectors by providing supports of a new business in various stages of development. That means when we are starting a new business. So this basic business incubators accelerate the particular type of project, or they will however they are also local economical development incubators which are focused on areas such as job creations, that is revitalizations, and hosting and sharing services. That means job will also be created by this business incubators. Okay. Commonly, incubators will invite future businesses and other pledging companies to share their promises as well as their administrative, logistical, and technical resources. That means with this technical, administrative, that means knowledge will also be shared, logistical knowledge will be shared, technical resources will be shared by these business incubators are related with a particular type of projects. Okay. So incubators might share the use of its laboratories so that a new business can develop and test its products more cheaply before beginning productions. That means we can use the laboratories for various tests, before it has been approved or before it has been launched in the market. So this laboratories can also be used for various testing. Initial test, test of a project. Next is government grants and subsidies. Again, up to 40% of the total amount can also be as a subsidy or a grant can be taken also given by the government firms. Okay, na? So government grants will also be taken care. Generally, most grants require you to match the funds you are being given, and this amount varies greatly depending on the grantors. For example, research grant may require you to find only 40% of the total cost. Okay? That means 40% of the total cost will be taken care by the government grants, subsidies. Generally, you will need to provide the detailed project descriptions. What are the different construction work detailed project description? That means whether the particular type of what is the different things covered in the construction of project. So detailed project report will be there, or detailed project descriptions will be there, and explanations of the benefits of your projects. What are the explanations, or what are the benefits, whether it has been directly benefited to the societies, or whether it has been benefited for any particular beneficial. Though the explanation of the benefits of your projects, what are the benefits of your projects, a detailed work plan with a full cost, the planning of starting from first stage up to the last stage of various activities. So this again will be considered full. The descriptions will also be taken care. Taken. So details of relevant, that is experience and background on key managers, completed application forms when appropriate works. So this all will be considered under this government grants and subsidies. Okay? Because some amount it has been invested. So this while giving some this amount, these details to be provided. Okay? These details to be needed. Okay? While it has been sanctioned. Okay? Next is detailed project report. Again, this term it has been taken care and shortly I have described in previous slide. What is the DPR? That is detailed project report. What it states, or which things it has been considered in this project detailed report. So which things are considered? So as the identifications and intention for the implementation of the project grow, the depth of the study for the probable project increases. Further analysis of the detailed relevant to such a project becomes imperative. That means we have to have an implementation of a project growth. So what is the growth of a project? Okay, now, what is the depth of the study? How much things it has to be carried out related with a project in order to increase the that means project increases. Okay, now, the study for the probable project increases. For the analysis of the detailed that is relevant to such a project becomes imperative. We know that the feasibility report contains sufficient detailed informations. The different detailed informations will also be considered in a feasibility report. That is the detailed project feasibility report. So it is from the study of pre-feasibilities or feasibility report that approval is made by the project owner for the investment on the project, or for a request to prepare the DPR. That is the detailed project reports. You can preparations of DPR is costly. That means various activities will be considered, various things will be considered, and to carry out the various activities and the various processes in the construction of work. So this due to this DPR is very costly and time taken job, because time every time will be required for executions, or for carrying out the particular type of work. So the time taking job, and when reports of specialists from different streams like market research, engineering, or civil mechanic, that is different engineering fields. So market research it is to be carried out related with a particular type of product, or related with a particular type of manufacturing product, or construction work. So various engineering aspects should also be considered. Various engineering fields it is to be also considered related with a project. Next is, what is the objectives of the detailed project reports? What are the different things, objectives related with the project report? Taken objectives of detailed project reports. And so DPR should ensure that the report should be with a sufficient details to indicate the possible weight of the project when implemented. What is the sufficient details should be considered. Sufficient things it has to be related with the particular type of project to be considered while it has to be carried out, or while it has to be prepare. We have to prepare a detailed project report. Again, the report should meet the questions raised during the project appraisals, the various types of analysis, be it financial, economic, or technical, or social, etc., should also be taken care of in the DPR. The various things to be considered related with the DPR. That means various things will be considered. The report should meet the questions raised during the project appraisals. That means various appraisals. Financial part will also be considered. The financial part will be considered. The various things will be considered related with the project. Next is aspects in the DPR, technology and design aspects of the detailed project reports. What are the different, that is the design aspects related with the project, technologies and the design aspects of or detailed, that is project report. The DPR should deals with the minimum technology certainties and the specialist finding reports in the areas becomes helpful. The DPR should deals with the technologies and design which have already been tested, thus minimizing the technical risk. That means the DPR should deals with the various technologies or the design aspects which has been considered. The various technologies nowadays, different technologies, it has been used, different design aspects. It has been considered while carrying out a particular type of project. So it will be considered in the DPR. Okay, na? So before going to overseas, technical collaborators and established technologies available within the country should be explored. The different technologies which has been available, so it will also be explored. It will be taken care in the DPR. Okay? Next is economic aspects, the location of the plant, the benefits for which locations, including the available infrastructure facilities, the volume of the project, the capacity installed, the availabilities of the resources, and the utilizations of such resources in a comparatively beneficial manner. The internal rate of the returns projected as compared to the possible rate of return on investments from the market without inherent risk. That means economical background should also be considered. Economical things should also be considered related with the product, related with GPR. Okay? Social and political aspects nowadays, this concern is also very very important related with a project. That means we have to take a concern from the social as well as the political aspects will also be considered, because while constructing or while carrying out any construction works, these two things, it is nowadays very important, that is the social and the political aspects. Okay? So public attitude towards a project, that means always there will be a questions whether this a particular type of project will be beneficial for a society or whether it is beneficial for a public. So this question will arises for a construction of any project. Okay? So public attitude towards a project is being increasing important. There is the displacement of people from the concerned public attitude towards the implementation of such a project can be very serious. That means whether it will be beneficial or what are the that means benefits related with a particular type of project, whether it will be harmful to the environments or not, the environmental pollutions, the economical balance or imbalance, the potential employment, all are important considerations in the DPR. That means what will be the impact of the environment, okay, now, related with the pollutions or related with water or air pollutions. So whether this construction of a particular type of project will harm the environment or not, the economical balance should also be considered, environmental pollutions related criteria will also be considered, and most important is employment. Okay, na? Whether with the help of this project the employment rate will be increased or not. Okay, na? So potential employment all are important considerations in the DPR. Okay? This will increase the employment rate. Okay, na? When a large scale projects will be constructed, so there will be more opportunities for the different in various sectors. So employment, this employment part will be increased, and this employment rate will be increased. This will also be considered in the DPR. Okay? The importance of politics in that is major project cannot be ignored where the political considerations dominate. That means in various cities or in various areas. So while constructing any project, these political issues should also be considered, because in whether a particular that is leader or a particular political leader, so we should not ignore where the political considerations it has been dominated. We have to take a concern from that particular team also related with a particular type of project. Okay? Next is financial aspects. The prime that is importance of a project is the assurance of the timely availability of the fund resources. Because timely available word is very important, because at any time we require some particular type of resources. ठीक है ना? तो particular resources should be available at a particular time. ठीक है ना? When, because all these management part is very very important, because we have to that is fulfill the requirement at a particular time. ठीक है ना? When particular that particular resources should be available at a particular time. ठीक है? So timely availability of funds and resources should also be taken care. ठीक है? The availability of funds is to be ensured without during the implementation period, as well as during the second part of the project when it is supposed to start generated or income benefits. Okay. Next is, where are the different contents of DPR? General informations will be considered. The information provided in this sector, it could be as follows: a name of the industrial concern. What are the different general informations which has been considered related with the DPR? ठीक है ना? क्या informations considered होगा? सबसे पहले industrial concern रहेगा. That is constitutions of the project proposed company, that whether it is a public or a private limited in sectors, nature of the industries, and whether it is a small scale industries or whether it is a large scale industries, and what are the productions which has been carried out by that particular industry. Name of the promoters and their contributions of the proposed projects, cost of the project, what is the cost of the project, and what are the different means of finance. Okay, so these are the general informations related with the detailed project reports. Okay. Next is promoter details. The promoters, the business, and the family backgrounds of the promoters are finally discussed under this heading. Their previous business experience and the performance, if any, will be explained here. That means what is the previous experiences or previous performance or the previous that is the status for the particular type of project. So promoters, their previous businesses, experiences, and performance will also be considered. The auditor report of the previous business and the reason for the closure will also be clarified. If a particular type of project has been closed, or it has been not completed in the stipulated time, or some part it has been remaining and it was not executed, so what was the reason? So these clarifications will also be considered. What was the reason for closing? And what was the reason for not carrying out the particular type of work? Okay. So these reasons will also be considered. Reason for closure will also be considered. Okay. So whether the proposed venture is related with the existing business and will help them to do better will also be noted here. Next is marketing and selling arrangements. Various marketing strategies will also be considered. So various selling that is arrangements will be considered. That is, we have to scope up with the market, ठीक है ना? Because nowadays various related with constructions, various there is technologies that has been used, so we have to scope up with the market, ठीक है ना? Scope of the market, possible competition from the substitutes. That means we have to lead or we have to carry out the various processes related with the construction of project. Take detailed notes on the existing and the future demand. What is the existing demand and what is the future demand? Okay, nowadays, what is the requirement related with a particular type of project? Okay, existing concern will also be taken care, and what is the future demand? Okay, so detailed notes on the existing and the future demand. Next is information on the export possibilities and the nature of the competition from the foreign competitors. Information about distribution, selling agents, and the selling organizations will also be considered. Information regarding from which we will purchase and from where we will selling. ठीक है ना? Selling agents and the selling organizations. ठीक है? Next is remunerations of the selling agents and relationships of the directors with the selling agents. What should be the relationship between the various directors of the selling agents? Details regarding the trends in prices during the last 5 years. So, what are the trends nowadays which has been considered while constructions? Okay? So, this will also be considered for while carrying out in DPR. Okay? Next is Particulars of the project, that is product mix and capacity, location and site, plants and machineries, raw materials, utilities. So these are the various particulars of the project related with the project. Okay, na? So product mix and capacities, locations of site, where it has been located, whether it has been located nearby or at a some in outskirts. The locations is very very important. Location on site, plant and machineries, various heavy that is machineries are required for construction of project. What will be the cost of that particular type of machineries or various heavy equipments or the plants which has been established during construction of project. So plants and machineries require raw materials required and utilities related with the construction of project. Okay. Next is technical arrangements is also very important. Technical arrangements, the technical infrastructures required to start the projects and whether the promoters have any there is foreign collaborations for the projects will be expanded. Okay. That means related with technical infrastructures, whether the promoters have any foreign collaborations, any foreign techniques to be used related with a particular type of project. Okay, na? So foreign collaborations for the project will be expanded here. The cost of buying or installations of technical infrastructures and whether it is cost effective, whether it is effective to buying of particular that is buying or installing technical infrastructures or whether it is to be available from nearby that is from our country or outside the country. ठीक है ना? तो this cost of buying or installation of technical infrastructures and whether it is cost effective or whether it is effective or whether the expenses required for installations or whether expenses required for carrying out the very infrastructure that is the technical installation of the infrastructure related activities. So whether it is effective or whether it is economical or not, it is to be considered related with the DPR. Okay. Next is production process. Various flowcharts to be prepared in close copy that is explained in detail the technical process which has been carried out in various things. The production process to be carried out nowadays, construction process starting from first stage up to the last stage, the various processes and the flow chart to be prepared. The various activities which has to be carried out from first stage up to the last stage of the construction of a project. To enclose a copy of the process, a flow chart with a material balance, utilities and the process parameters, compute applications results of the proposed process. What are the results for the particular type of process? Whether it has been the particular type of process, it has been carried out in a proper way or not. What are the results for that to be considered in the project production process? Next is important is environmental aspects. Okay, na? So the impact of the discharging effluent of the production process in the environments as well as precautions that has to be taken while we are discharging any that is effluents while production of any product. Okay, na? So this discharging effluents or any that is the harmful things which has been discharged or which has been dumped in nearby sites. Okay? So this environmental aspects is nowadays precautions to be taken. Furnish details of the nature of the atmosphere, soil and water pollutions indicates whether necessary permissions for the disposal of the effluents has been taken or not. There are various norms and various clauses to be taken care. Environmental that is norms to be taken care while construction of any project. So here it is to be considered taken, whether it has been considered or not. Whether permissions related with the disposal of a particular waste it has been taken or not taken. So enclosed copy of approval from the concerned authorities, it is to be taken care. Okay? Next is schedule of implementations, how it has been implemented. So again, a schedule of implementations plays an important role. How it will be implemented, what will be the criteria for implementations, how it will be implemented. Okay? The implementations describe how design, engineering, erections, installations, and commencing of the project will be carried out. Furnish the schedule of implementations, how it will be implemented. Schedule is the actually it is a network diagram which has been prepared from starting from first activity up to the last activity. Diagram to be made that is various diagrams or various things to be considered. Next is what is the cost of the project. Okay, na? The cost of project is again very important. The detailed breakup of all the costs related with the project has to be listed here. These are the breakups. These are the various stages. At various stages, the cost will be required for construction of any project. So cost of the project क्या रहेगा? Number one is nothing but we require and cost for that is land. Okay, the land cost will be there. Site development cost will be there. Building is another. Civil works to be carried out, plants and machineries, heavy equipments to be installed at a site, various plants to be installed in site. So this will be considered the cost of required for installations of plants and machineries. Technical no how fees, technical staff to be expenses on technicians or technical staff to be maintained, or preliminary there is a cost will be required, pre-operational expenses will be required, contingencies or unforeseen expenses will be required, some extra that is unforeseen expenses require while carrying out a particular type of process or carrying out in a project. You can. Next is what are the means of finance? What are the different means? Already this has we have covered in the previous slides also. Okay, now what are the means of finance? Okay, profitably estimates assumptions, that is the projected income statement, project balance sheet and project cash flow statements. So these are the profitable estimates, that is income sheet statement to be prepared, a balance sheet, how much amount it has been incurred in a particular type of activities and how much it has been in a balance. You can remaining amount. Okay? So this project balance sheet to be prepared and cash flow statement. That means what is this cash flow? And at various stages in a construction of project, what is the flow of cash flow statement to be carried out? Okay? Appraisal based on the profitably as estimates. Appraisal report will also be prepared to give estimates of cost of productions and working results for the first 10 years in the annexures. Provide a cash flow statement for the company as a whole. Provide a projected balance sheet for 10 operating years. This will be considered in appraisal based on the profitability estimates. Okay. Economic considerations, we have to and explanations of for different differences in prices between the product and those imported. So these economical benefits to be considered while preparing DPR. Okay. Appendices, that means estimates of the cost of productions, calculations of depreciations. Again, what is depreciation word is again very important. Again, calculations of depreciations. If you are using some advanced equipments in there, so there will be wear and tear of the equipments. There will be wear and tear of the various plants and machineries. Okay, so these again calculations of these depreciations by the various methods will also be considered. Okay, estimated cost is number one is the estimated cost. Number two is the depreciation cost. What is the depreciation? So wear and tear of the machineries, wear and tear of the various equipments, wear and tear of the various plants or machineries. Okay. So this depreciation cost or calculations of the depreciation is very important. Okay. Working capitals and the margin money for the working capitals, repayments, interest, calculations of taxes. Various taxes will also be beared. Taxes again will be considered. Okay. Escalations in cost and time. Yes, escalations is the word is very important. What is this escalations word? It stands for many contractors or the desperate for work during the economical downturn have bid on projects with a thin or no margins to maintain ongoing operations. This compounds the already significant concern of the cost escalations by reducing the cushion available to deal with any issues that arises during a project. That means there will be a rise and fall of a particular that is a cost of a particular type of project. Okay? So this cost escalations, escalations in cost and escalations in time also. Okay? To manage cost escalations, it is important to identify and stay at tune to the issues that results in added. Okay? That means we have to take care of the issues. No, at what issues the profit is less. Okay? What are the different there is criteria to be considered to increase the profit. Okay? So this cost escalations, that is the decrease or increase in the cost of productions or decrease or increase in the cost of that is constructions. Okay? So this cost escalations in time as well as cost will also be considered. Here are seven of the most preferable escalations in cost and time. These are the various considerations related with the cost escalations. Global market forces also considered as a cost escalations due to when we are exporting or when we are taking various heavy equipment from some other companies or some other agencies. So here again, global market forces will also be considered as a in a cost escalations. Okay. Increased demand and many or large projects in the regions. That means when the demand is more and availability is also more. Okay, na? That means the profit is less. When the demand is more and availability is less, then the profit will be more. Okay, na? So this increase in demand and in some regions. Okay, na? When the demand is more and the availability is less of a particular resources, that means the cost will be more. The profit will be more. The cost will be more. So this is again a type of cost escalations. Okay. Skill labels shortages labor supplies. That means in some areas there is a shortage of labels, or in some areas there is scarcity of labels. Availabilities of labels will be less, or in some areas the labels are more. So this will again results in cost escalations, the increase or decrease in the cost related with the labors. Okay. Material fabrication supplies, builders and subcontractors were not the only one who had particular challenges caused by the recession. Suppliers or various materials or fabrications or various things will also be considered in the cost escalations. Okay? Natural disasters, if there is any natural calamities there, or natural weathering change in the weather, or due to heavy rains, or due to any natural there is disaster, there may be delay in the completion period. Okay? There may be delay in the start time, or there may be delay in the completion time. So this will again results in increase or decrease in the cost escalations due to the natural disaster. Okay. Again, by considering the safety codes or provisions, when we are following some safety codes or some certifications are required, some various clauses to be considered related with the safety or related with the that is in order to any lack of awareness in these areas can cause an anticipated cost, which will likely land. That means if there is any and during construction of project, so extra amount will be required if there is an injury, or if any during a particular type of carrying out a particular type of activities. So extra amount will be required. Again, a safety code, or when we are following some safety codes, or when we are following some safety provisions related with construction of a project. So this will increase the cost of particular type of thing. And cost escalation will be considered while carrying out the safety codes. Okay. Time of completions, again these things will be we'll see in next things. So in this way we have covered major things related with cost escalations, time of completion of construction of project. So these things will be has been considered. Okay. So in if time permits, we will see some more things related with construction management and construction management and materials. So in the next lectures, we will try to cover some more topics related with this if time permits. So if anyone having doubts related with this, they can have a comment on this. So here we can end this today's lectures. Okay. So thank you everyone. Thank you.